All right. So before we get started, does anybody have any questions about any stuff that's coming up?
Or when you say you want us to bring 2 of the secondary sources, do you want us to bring just that or what we wrote about them too?
Just bring the secondary sources to class with you. You're going to be doing a writing exercise with them in class. So yeah, and I will say too, don't worry about printing them out. I will allow you, like if you have a laptop or your phone or whatever, you can use that for this assignment.
Are we allowed to use other readings as secondary sources?
I'd prefer you didn't because I want you to learn how to use the library resources. Part of the point of the assignment is to get everybody used to it. Yeah, that's a good question. It's one that comes up a lot. But yeah, I would rather that you just use the library sources. Any other questions? Okay, so I do want just to bring to everybody's attention again that course evaluations are up. They're open. Does everybody know how to access them and how to do them? Okay, so there should be instructions in your campus email somewhere. You should be able to access them directly from, you should be able to access the evals directly from Georgia View. There's like the home page when you first get there, right? And there should be one for every class that you're enrolled in. Just one quick thing I want to say about the course evals, right? Every class is basically a work in progress, right? So mostly what we're getting from this is what's working for students and what isn't, right? So we adjust classes from semester to semester based on the meaningful feedback that we get from students. So please be honest about what worked for you in the class and what didn't, right? You're not going to get me fired or anything like that, right? But it will help me figure out how to better plan future semesters. I mean, there are a couple of things I've already decided, like, I think we had too many reflection papers this semester, right? The thinking behind that was to give you more practice with small stakes assignments. But I don't think that you got anything more out of 8 reflection papers than you might have gotten out of, say, 6, plus, some more intense in-class writing. So, that's a change I've already kind of decided to make. And what I'm going to do for all of you, as far as your reflection papers are concerned, I'm only going to count the 6 best grades. So if there are 2 you didn't do so hot on, right, those grades will get dropped from your final average. Okay, any other questions about anything?
So does that count, say we missed one, you just drop that too, so basically we get a 0 on it, but instead you just drop that?
Yeah, so I dropped a 0 instead of maybe if you had a 75 versus an 85 on one, right? Yeah, the 0 would get dropped.
Okay.
So this will still benefit you if you missed 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Do you know what day in class we're gonna have? I think you said it the last time, or you might not have. That are we gonna get to work on our paper in class one day?
A week from today. Yep. Our last class meeting will be in the computer lab, either down the hall or downstairs. It hasn't been worked out exactly which one we're going to have yet. But yeah, we will be meeting to work on drafts.
And that our last day is the 8th? That's next Thursday.
No, our last day of this class is Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah, yes. I think the 8th is the reading day, I think.
Reading day.
Yeah, that's a day when there are no classes, just for y'all to study for exams.
Oh, God. That's just for you or for general?
It's university-wide. It's for everybody. I don't need to study for exams. I need to write them, right?
Yeah.
I need to run a couple of review sessions, but I don't need to study for them. Okay, so if there are no further questions, what I want to talk about today is just using the library to find sources, right? So I showed you a little bit of this last time, right? I think I showed you the MLA International Bibliography, right? And I showed you how to request things for TPASA. So does anybody need to see those again? I think one or two of you might not have been here that day, and I know it was before the break, so would it help if we reviewed those again quickly? Okay. All right,
So
so
how do you want us to do the annotated bibliography? I don't even remember that either from us.
okay,
Last week, paper.
do you still have the sample annotated bibliography there? Okay, if anybody doesn't still have it, let me know.
Come on.
Okay, and the instructions for it are on the paper 2 assignment sheet as well, which if you've lost the actual physical assignment sheet is also in Georgia View.
It says paper 2 on the top?
Yep. Okay. So I have opinions about the new website, very, very strong opinions, about how easy it is to find things that I need and that it's not. But to get to the library, right, we all remember that you click the academics tab or scroll over the academics tab. It gives you the drop-down menu, academic resources. Click on library, here we are, right? So the first place we're going to go is Galileo. And I'm going to show you the MLA International Bibliography again, but I'm also going to show you another database that you can use to get sources directly that might be a little bit more general as well, right? So the first thing you're going to do is view databases by subject when you're in Galileo. And you're going to want to go next to literature and writing. And the MLA International Bibliography with full text. So it's going to take you to something like any kind of regular internet search bar. And we're going to do a search on, let's say, has anybody decided what they're going to do the paper on yet? Sydney, what are you going to write on?
It's the last one that we did,
The Terry Tempest Williams?
poet lady, she had cancer.
Oh, Audre Lorde. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to do that one.
Okay. So 2 of you were going to do that one. All right, so Leah, let's do a search then on Audre Lorde. And
You have to capitalize and?
no, you don't have to capitalize the name. Well, you have to capitalize and.
Yeah, so I'm
Because that's what you're telling the software that you want it to search.
to do both.
Yeah, for things that contain both of these, right?
Okay.
And we'll just give an abbreviated version of the title, right? And we search. And it gives us 387 results. That's a lot more than we want to have to sift through, right? So there are a couple of things that we can do here. We can, on the one hand, break these down by type, right? So let's say, we want things from academic journals, we want things from book articles, we want books. We don't want dissertation abstracts. Those are things you're not going to be able to access anyway. They won't be much help to you. So we update, and that gets us down to 346. Okay. That's slightly more manageable, but not much. We can also limit our search by language, right? So we only want things that are in English. Okay, great. That took another 10 or so out of the list. And we can narrow as well by subject. So let's see if there's something here that is kind of specific enough.
Autobiography.
Okay, yeah, autobiography would give us only 90 results.
better than 337.
I know, we're getting better here, right?
What you want her? Like how the top one was her name?
Yeah, things that include Audre Lorde.
Even though that's
And
not-
now it's gonna go
A
back.
concern with autobiography. We might also, let's see, we want things that are specifically related to this particular text. Okay, so let's say we're concerned with the way cancer
Yeah, I was about to say.
is discussed in this particular text. Okay, so we'll go with that. And we update. Okay, that gives us 280, right? So if we had just focused on the cancer ones, right, that would have given us about 7. So what this means probably is that our keywords are a little bit too general, and we might want to make them more specific. So let's maybe change what we've got up here to Audre Lorde and silence and cancer. Okay, and that gives us 3, right? So that's a lot more manageable. That's a much more manageable starting point. Now, unfortunately, none of these are available full text, apparently, from
So they're all
our
academic
database.
journals.
What's that?
They're all academic journals.
Yeah, these are all journal articles.
So that won't work.
Yeah, well, these actually would absolutely work
They would.
as sources. Yeah, these would absolutely be valid sources. The thing is, you're going to have to request them, right?
Oh.
Do we have time for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Tapasa usually works pretty fast. Most of these you'll get access to within 24 hours. Okay, so the first thing when we go from here, we click on the Tapasa tab here in the library homepage. It'll take us here. We create a request. Let's say what we want is this first one, right? Okay, so this is the journal title. We can copy that, paste it. What's the next thing it wants? Date, November 2005.
This is all online access, right?
Yeah, it's online access. So what they'll do is they'll upload a PDF to Tapasa, give you access to it, and you'll have to go and download it.
It'll send us like an email whenever they do it?
It'll send you a notification, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then after the access is done, it just takes it all back away or something?
Yes.
Like getting a book checked out from the library, same thing?
It's that's actually a good analogy. It's like checking out a book from the library. You can keep it for so long or look at it so many times, and then you lose access. So the best thing to do if you don't want to lose access is just save it to your desktop. And I'll show you in a minute how to do that. All right, where did you learn about this item? A wizard told me. Okay, this here, right after the date, outside the parentheses, is the volume number, right? So this is volume 7. And in the parentheses is the issue number. And stop clicking on things. So this is volume 7, issue 1, and the page numbers are 271 to 292. Yeah, I know it's missing. All right, we copy and paste the title of the article. Author of the article is Catalina Florina Florescu. That flows beautifully. Tell them when you need it by. So in your case, you need it pretty fast, right? So let's say,
Tomorrow.
please give it to me by tomorrow. And then just, you give them your patron
Amount willing
ID.
to pay?
What's that?
The amount willing to pay? Is that?
You don't have to fill that out. You don't have to pay for any of these.
I'm not saying.
This is a free service for our library, from our library.
So that's if we don't have this through GSW.
Exactly. Yeah. If you didn't have this through a university library, you might have to pay for access to articles. Yeah. Okay. And then if I actually wanted this, I would submit the request.
Okay.
So
Would we need to type in our phone number? Like
no,
Okay.
no, you don't have to give them your phone number. They can find your email. Like your email should already be loaded in here.
Mhm.
All right. So let's see. Do I have any of these that are link expired, canceled, link expired. Okay. So I don't actually have one of these to show you. But if I clicked on like,
You can request it again.
yeah, I can request it again. But like, if I the button would be here to access it. I would click on this. It would open up a PDF that I could then save.
And this is on that
It's possible.
Tapasa page.
Yeah, this is all on Tapasa.
So we just go to like the requests tab and it'll be right there, and then we can hit access or whatever it says.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Now, another database you might want to consider looking at is called Jstor. Have any of you used Jstor for projects before?
No.
Okay, so Jstor is a more general database than what do you call the MLA bibliography is. You'll find articles from a variety of disciplines here, and you will get direct access to them. The problem is it is a little harder to sift through.
So it's easy to sort down.
Yeah, I mean, you can still sort it down, but you'll probably get more irrelevant hits from Jstor. It's a little bit hard. It's a little bit harder to use generally, but it's still worth knowing because again, like you can get stuff fast from Jstor, like immediately. You don't have to use Tapasa.
You don't have to wait 24 hours.
No, you won't have to wait at all. You can just get it right away. So you're going to want to do an advanced search because the basic search will turn out too much crap. And let's try again, Audre Lorde and silence. And we can add a search box and cancer. So these boxes function like the quotation marks, right? So we're only looking for sources that contain these three terms. Yes, I only want content I can access. Duh. You can also narrow results by type. So let's say I only want articles and books here, right? I don't really want book reviews. Those aren't going to help me. Research reports, not going to help me. Miscellaneous, who the hell knows what that even means, right? We only want things in English. You can also set a date range. So like if you're looking at an older text, for example, like say you're writing about Thomas Malthus or Jeremy Bentham.
And you want stuff around that time frame?
Actually, you probably only want stuff that's more recent, right? You want stuff that like the more recent work on that particular author, that
It'd be
particular
more
topic.
relevant to now. I
Yeah.
guess,
And probably also easier to read.
yeah. Yeah, that too.
So, I could say set a date limit here. Like, let's say, I don't want anything earlier than 1978 and nothing later than 2021.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the other kind of cool thing that Jstor does is it does filter your results by the type of journal, right? So, relevant to this particular topic, okay, we might want to look at African American Studies journals. We might want to look in, let's see, what else? British Studies, Classical Studies, maybe Communication Studies.
This is what you're talking about, what takes longer.
This is one of the things that takes a
That's
little
just one
longer.
of the
Yeah.
things?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, and also sometimes when you get hits, narrowing them down takes a little longer.
But you get it instantly.
Yeah, but you get it. The advantage is you get it instantly. It's
Yeah.
feminist and women's studies, gender studies. Also, some of these categories are maybe slightly redundant. Language and literature. And I think that should probably do us. And we submit our advanced search.
Oh, that's enough.
And we could not complete your search because it is too long. Try reducing the size of your query or using advanced. Okay. So,
Great.
we go back.
Does that mean like too long?
Yeah, I think what I probably did was I probably selected too many different kinds of journal. Right, I put in too many little variables here. So we go to articles, books in English, and let's maybe just stick to, say, feminist and women's studies and gender studies, and see what that gets us. Okay, and that gets us 20 results. So that's not unreasonable here, right? You know, this is, you know, and it gives us a little kind of snippet from each that we can look at. So we can decide, you know, if there's something here that looks relevant to us. All right, let's see. So imploded bodies, breast cancer, feminism in the future. Okay, yeah, that's something that looks like it might be relevant. Okay. So if I wanted this, I would click download PDF. Yes, I accept the terms and conditions. You know, it's not, you know, they're not going to make me, you know, give over my first one or whatever. And then what I would do is download this and save it, right? And that is how you use Jstor.
So with that, with this one, Jstor, how do you do like the MLA format thing? Because you showed us that on, I think it was Galileo, where you can go choose like the citation that you want to use and you choose MLA. Can you do that on here? Or
No, and I think like in general, what you're actually going to want to do your citations manually, because if you try to do them with any kind of automatic system, they usually get it wrong.
okay.
So the best place to go, I'll show you the website actually to go to for MLA citation. The Purdue Online Writing Lab, Purdue OWL, right? owl.purdue.edu. Their website has all the information that you would need on doing MLA citation correctly.
Or we can just put it in a little box.
Yeah, well, the little box never gets it right. So,
Oh yeah, it uses it for, because then every time you do it, it always says that it's missing information, even though it's right there and you have to manually put it in.
yeah. So this citation machine, I think this is actually an ad rather than something
because
that, yeah.
I've used the website and that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. So yeah. Don't use that. Just like whatever you're trying to cite, you can find it. So if you're trying to cite a periodical, right, which is what most of your sources are going to be, then the information you need is going to be right here. So article in anonymous articles, article in a scholarly journal. This is what you're going to want, right? And this is the basic format. Okay, so any questions about Jstor? Everybody pretty much got this. Okay. You also are not going to want to completely ignore scholarly books, right? Now I know that our library is a little bit limited, that we don't really have a whole hell of a lot on the shelves. That's just not where our budget goes. But you do have access through the USG to what amounts to a really good academic library, where you can get just about anything you need. What I would suggest you try to do is get some articles first, and if there are books that they reference, maybe try to get your hands on those. What's that?
Try to find those books.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that you can do, just type in the search bar. What you're going to want to search though is you're not just going to want to search Georgia Southwestern. You're going to want to search the whole USG. And one thing you might actually get from is you might actually get access to some ebooks as well that might be helpful. Then again, you can access right away. So let's do a search. Let's see if we can find any, like, we just read that article, for example, about downwinders, right? So let's see if we can find any books that cover that particular topic. Okay, here we go. Downwinders and Atomic Tail. That sounds like it might be helpful. No records found.
Never mind.
Okay, let's just reduce the title there. Okay. So we got films. We don't really want films, so we can actually limit here the kind of things we want, right? So let's stick to books. All right. Well, here's some stuff that is related directly to court cases. Let's see if there's something. If there's another one that we can put on this. Let's see. Let's look specifically for ebooks. Okay, green, the red, white, and blue, the bomb, big business and consumer resistance in post-war America. Okay, this might be relevant. We can probably find something about downwinders in this. And we can check holdings. Okay, our library unfortunately does not own this item. So what I can do is I can sign in. And when you sign in, you just use your regular GSW credentials, right? Just your regular username and password. Okay, so I can't actually access this ebook, unfortunately.
Would we be able to? Or is it just
no,
a specific book?
Yeah, the problem is that this, ebooks that are held in other libraries are not accessible to us here. The only ones that our library specifically has access to. However, I think there is actually a way that we can search for ebooks.
Would you have to change the filter from the whole Georgia system to just?
Yeah, if you're looking, maybe if you're looking
Yeah.
specifically for ebooks, yeah, change from the whole,
Change it.
yeah.
I'm not good.
And let's see what this gets us, if anything.
And you go back to ebooks or something.
Okay, oh hey, maybe we actually do have online access to
I guess
this.
the same one.
Here we go. Full text available at EBSCO Academic eBook Collection. And yeah, we just, table of contents. Okay, so we just click on contents to figure out maybe what it is where we actually want to go in the book. And yeah, there's a chapter specifically on downwinders, right? Page 74. Okay. Great. And there we go, right? So we can access this directly from the library homepage. So these are the major tools that are going to be helpful to y'all when you are doing your research. But I want to reiterate again that one of the best moves you can make while you're trying to do this, if you haven't already, right, make an appointment with John Wilson. Right. He is the university's resident expert on all of these things, and he will find things for you that I don't know exist, right? Because he knows all the weird little nooks and crannies and corners of the system. Because it's his job to know that.
Of like this library system stuff?
Yep, the whole library system, yep.
We had him come, I think it was him, that name sounds familiar.
Uh-huh.
Our GSW 1000 class come speak and show us stuff.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he does. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him in here for this class, but yeah, I usually try to get him to do this when I can. Because, again, like this is like, it's good to acknowledge the limits of your own knowledge and expertise. And, if you can get somebody who knows more than you in to do the thing, then that's often a good thing for everybody. Okay, so this is really all I had for you guys today, right? I just wanted to show you these couple of things in the databases, help you get a little bit of a start on your research if you haven't already. And remember that what you're doing for next time, right, is you're getting at least 2 sources ready, and you're going to bring those to class, right?
And all together we're supposed to have 4, right? Or is that
5 total. Yep. You're going to have five total.
Bringing 2 to class.
And you're bringing 2 to class, yeah. And remember that the way the annotated bibliography is going to be graded, right, is that you get points for each source that you have, right? So if you want the full credit, if you want 100, you're going to need to have 5 sources.
So you're really not, you're probably going to look over what we say about them, but you're not really grading that part about it?
I'm not really, I'll comment on it, and if a source isn't really appropriate, I'll let you know. But yeah, I'm grading this on completion, basically, right? So if you have, if you have 5 sources, it's 100. If you have 4 sources, it's an 80, so on and so forth, right? So if you don't have all your sources yet, when you're doing the annotated bibliography, please do still turn something in, because some points is better than no points. Yes, Brandon, sorry to keep you waiting.
So for the annotated bibliography, you just want us to find 5 sources and then cite them and then give a really basic summary of what it's talking about.
Yep, 5 sentences. About three of the sentences should summarize the basic argument. 1 sentence should tell me what the credentials of the author are, and then the last sentence should tell me what you plan to do with this in your paper, right? How you're thinking of using it.
We can change them even if they're on the bibliography, right?
Yeah. As long as you run changes by them, yeah. All right, that's all I got for you. We'll see you.